Postmodern dance, also known as avant-garde era, experimentalists rejected existing techniques and principles of modern dance. They used everyday movement as valid performance art. This period of time did not last very long, but it had a huge impact on today's contemporary dance. This is a picture of Judson Memorial Church, which is where this group of experimental artists would meet weekly. Between the years of 1962 and 1964, the group of artists that came together and met weekly at the Judson Memorial Church in Greenwich Village in Manhattan, New York, were referred to as the Judson Dance Theater. Their impact sent ripples through modern dance in the 60s and 70s and can even be seen today in terms of pedestrian gesture that's abstracted into other types of movement. 1962 was the first concert in the church, and the group actually only did 20 concerts in total, which is pretty remarkable for the impact that they had on the dance world. Some artists that you may have heard of that were involved in the Judson Memorial Church and the theater group. Yvonne Rainier, she was the founder. Trisha Brown was one of the choreographers that came out of that time period. Steve Paxton, also Meredith Monk, and Lucinda Childs. These are big names in postmodern dance. What was the overall feeling during this time of artistic and certainly dance explosion? The theater was considered a collaboration of dancers, writers, filmmakers, composers, all kinds of very creative people. And the atmosphere was one of diversity and complete freedom. This is a picture of two dancers in the actual church doing a piece. Again, a larger group dancing in Judson Memorial Church. It was a Baptist church. This is a picture of one of the Judson Theater members, Trisha Brown, who went on to have a very lucrative career herself outside of Judson. Again, they were experimenting with all types of things, and she harnessed a woman to the side of a building and had her walk as if she were just walking in an upright position all the way down the side of a huge building. This, as weird as this seems and out there, this was repeated and mounted by many others in her honor. Very brave, very courageous, very, talk about taking dance outside of the proscenium theater. She took it and turned it on its side completely. She was also famous, Yvonne Rainier, for the No Manifesto, which is a document that she created where she rejected all technical virtuosity. So she was very much not interested in being technically perfect or glamorous or creating a spectacle or a theatrical piece in her performances. She preferred instead to see and show the beauty in ordinary movements. In order to keep this freshness alive, excuse me, she would often use untrained dancers. Not all of the postmodern people did this, but this is what she chose to do. This is a picture of contact improv, and it's a leaning lift between two male dancers. Steve Paxton, who was one of the Judson dance theater members, he is considered the father of contact improv. So all the stuff that we've been doing in class, all of that comes from him. And, he had his beginnings in this postmodern time. Another thing that, because Judson Memorial Church has such a creative, rebellious, wonderful, free spirit associated with it, a lot of companies still go there today to rehearse. And this is a picture of dancers who are dancing. They all have different colors of paint, and with their feet they create works of art on the canvas that they're standing on. And this was actually a piece that was performed by a professional dance company for the Beijing opening ceremonies of the Olympics a few years ago. Lucinda Childs, also one of the Judson Dance Theater front runners. This is just a picture of how she used, kind of like Steve Paxton, certainly some contact, but she used it in a more structured, choreographic, traveling sort of collision type way. And then this is yet another theater group member by the name of Meredith Monk, and she was very interested in using opera and sound. This is a piece called The Rewinding of the Girl Child, and she starts off the piece as an old woman and she goes backwards to her infancy. So this gives you sort of a flavor of what some of these artists during this very short but prolific time were doing.